குக்கரி சேனலை பார்த்து யார் வேணாலும் சமையல் பண்ணலாம். ஆனா சுவையான சமையல் பண்றது எப்படி? நான் இதயம் நல்லெண்ணெயில சமையல் பண்றேன். ஆஹா ஓஹோன்னு பாராட்டுறாங்க. நீங்களும் இதயம் நல்லெண்ணெயில சமையல் பண்ணுங்க, பாராட்ட வாங்குங்க.
தினம் தோறும் வாங்குவே இதயம்
சாணக்யா இன்டர்நேஷனல் அகாடமி உங்களுக்குள் இருக்கும் தலைவரை வெளிக்கொண்டு வரும் பியூர் பாலிடிக்ஸ் பயிற்சி பட்டறை. நேரடி மற்றும் இணைய வழி. கான்டாக்ட் 7338824242.
Respected Dr. Vinay P. Sasarudin, a well-known public intellectual, parliamentarian, who has served in this nation in various capacities, and currently the President of Indian Council for Cultural Relations. Dr. N. Panchanathan, who is the Vice Chancellor of Gandhi Rural University and Institute, Dindigam, who is trying to rejuvenate or revitalize the Gandhian ideals through his institution. Professor B. Dharmalingam, Chairperson of Pandey Deendayal Upadhyaya Chair, located in this university. Registrar of this university, Professor A. Senthilrajan. All the distinguished delegates, faculty, staff of this university, my dear students, gracious ladies and gentlemen, அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். Today is the birth anniversary of the great visionary leader, a great inspiration for the youth, and the one who led this country towards self-reliance and defense and national security, none other than Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who they reached the pinnacle of his career as the president of this country, but he even thereafter continued inspiring the nations all over, motivating our youth how dream big, walk through fire. Nothing is impossible if you have a strong desire backed by a resolute determination to achieve it. I pay my humble tribute to this great son of this great country. Friends, I would like to thank the organizers for organizing the 2 days seminar where people would be talking about it, distinguished delegates would be sharing their thoughts, experiences on integral humanism, how to translate it in good governance, how to translate it for sustainable development, so as we are able to achieve our national goal of a fully self-reliant, fully developed Bharat, Viksit Bharat 2047, by the time we celebrate a centenary of our independence. Friends, the keynote speaker, Dr. Vinay has given a beautiful description of integral humanism, given the clarity on this philosophical framework, how it touches all the aspects of our life and how it can lead to a harmonious, sustainable world. Now this Dr. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, what he said, what he articulated within the framework of what is popularly called integral humanism is articulation of the foundational values of Bharatiya civilization, the core values that actually created this Rashtra we call Bharat several thousand years ago. In the time of Rig Veda, our rishis explained the wisdom revealed in the Vedas and subsequently continued generations to generations. Rishis, saints, sages, poets, they continued interpreting those wisdom in contemporary context, making it easier for the people, the common masses to comprehend. The essential wisdom was that the entire creation, the individual, the collective, the creation, this all constitute one family. We are all sitting here, hundreds of us. We might be looking different, but essentially at the core we are all one. It's like this tiny seed. The seed, as it grows into a mammoth tree. It has roots, deep roots. It has trunks, it has countless branches and millions of leaves and flowers and fruits. Each one appears different, but essentially it's all born out of the same seed. It is all integrally connected, organically connected. So the individual, collective, and the entire creation, when the entire creation is not only humans, but plants and animals as well. We are all members of the one family. And every element of creation, in every element of creation, divine permeates. It is present, so every element is divine. This has enormous capacity to embrace the diversity. We may be speaking various languages. Our food habit may be different. We might be wearing different costumes. We might be living in different climates. But this concept of all being members of one family or kutumba, this wisdom, this understanding, to bring it into our day-to-day life, our rishis, our saints, they worked very hard from time to time. And they brought it in our DNA, what we call our culture. It has enormous capacity to, or infinite capacity to embrace the diversity. It does not look at diversity as difference. It looks at a beautiful manifestation of the same. Look at a beautiful flower. It has hundreds of petals. No two petals are alike. But it is a collectively, and no petal can exist outside the flower. They are all integrally part of it. And the beautiful, together, how beautiful they are. So what apparently appears different is essentially it is a diversity. It is a various manifestation of the same. And that is what breaks the monotony. It looks beautiful, it makes the creation beautiful. So, when this thought is spread over the land, is spread by our rishis and saints and poets who took it across from Kanyakumari to beyond Kashmir, Himalaya, from ocean to Himalaya, people began living together as a family. These rishis also created a number of institutions all over Bharat. Numerous institutions. You know, Bharat, when I came here in Tamil Nadu, when I was talking, some people asked me, senior people asked me, Mr. Governor, tell me who was the ruler who ruled this country? Over the whole country. No, nobody. Bharat was never ruled by any one ruler. But to the concept that a country has to be ruled by, a country becomes country, maybe a country, but Bharat was a Rashtra. It had multiple rulers, multiple kings and multiple kingdoms, and yet within the kingdom of every king, there was one institution and numerous institutions which was shared by all. Take the case, we have Rameshwaram. Rameshwaram located here, but could Setupati of Ramanapuram, could he say that it belonged to him? He could not. He was only a guardian, a caretaker. It belonged to whole Bharat. Kashi, it didn't belong to the king of Kashi. They were the caretakers, it belonged to the whole. So they created institutions, numerous institutions, like 12 Jyotirlinga, 51 Shakti Pita, 108 Dibya Desham. They are all located all over Bharat and belongs to everyone. This is unique. This is a unique entity, and that is what is called Rashtra. Bharat Rashtra. That is how Bharat Rashtra was born. Subsequently, over the periods, things changed. Countries suffered, Bharat suffered subjugation, colonization. And eventually, with the effort of millions and millions of our people, Bharatiyas, Indians, and sacrifice of thousands and thousands of our freedom fighters, lakhs of our freedom fighters, when we got independence, the expectation was, because during colonization, what the colonizers, mainly the British, had done, they had created structures and systems of governance on this country to suit their interest. This country, or people of this country, they had their way of governance, their own governance. Villages governed themselves. Each village governed itself. Villages with the neighboring villages, they had a system of cooperation and collaboration. There was no need for them to look up to anyone beyond. There was no concept of modern state as we talk about, because the villages around, they were all, by and large, they were self-sufficient. King's duty was to protect against any external aggression or in times of major natural disaster or crisis. They were self-reliant. But when the British came, they created institutions of governance like district. There was no district concept before that. And why did they create, district? They created district for collecting taxes. They created district and created institution of district collector as the most powerful person in that district. Levy taxes from the people. They put entire land under heavy taxation. And to ensure that people must pay exorbitant taxes which they wanted, to assist and to assist the collector, intimidate the people, they created police. We had a concept of cover here, but that was not like in the modern policing, what we had. Covers were not people who used to instill fear among the people. But this police which the British created, it was to intimidate people, to drive a sense of fear. So on the basis of authority and fear, the British ruled and exploited this country. So, contact between the people and the institution was a hostile contact, was not a comfortable contact. Everyone looks up with fear or awe. When we became independent, expectation was that now we will be free of all these. We will be having a system, a structure and system of governance to which the people of this country would relate, would feel comfortable to deal with. Because after all, the countless numbers who gave their life and countless numbers who suffered for freedom, they got for what? They gave their life and suffered to be ourselves, to come back. Let this government be our government. Let the officials of the government be our people whom we connect. Unfortunately, after independence, we could not and did not create a structure and system of governance which could be called people-friendly. We continued with the same structure and system of governance, institution of district collector, institution of police, and people. And there were people who manned these offices were not the local people, they came from outside. Policies and plans were not framed by the people, but by the so-called representative of the people by at the state or the central level. And okay, you implement it. Now, connect between the people and the government was just limited to once in 5 years cast your vote. And we know what happened. When this mode, when we started moving forward after independence, nearly 2 decades, that Pandey Deendayal Upadhyay, again one of that in the series of great saints and rishis, who was perturbed, who also happened to be part-time politician. Essentially he was a philosopher, he was a rishi, he was a saint, who articulated this several millennia old wisdom of Bharat, civilizational, foundational values of Bharatiya civilization that had created this nation, the Rashtra. He articulated it in a very compact manner and made it easier for people to comprehend, because some 200 years of colonizations and the system of education that the British had created, we had forgotten ourselves. He did it with an expectation that we would do the course correction. After independence, in an independent Bharat, we will have a government and a governing, a structure and system which people of this country relate friendly. Today, even today, nearly 80 years after independence, people do not feel comfortable going to police station. Do you feel comfortable? You don't think so? When you go to any office, let us say district collector office, there is a sense of you never know how the official will treat you down the line. Because that culture which was inculcated in the British authority, it continues down the line. Now, with this, what happened? If you look at the effect of it, unfortunately, we did not do any course correction for a very, very long time. We continued following those very policies and those very ways of governance through the institutions which by and large the British had created, which remained distinct from the people. At the time of independence, Bharat was the 6th largest economy in the world. At the time when the British colonized India in the 18th century, Bharat was the largest economy of the world, #1 economy. With all the exploitation of nearly 200 years, still Bharat was the 6th largest economy. But 2014, by the time we became the 11th economy, we became poorer. Over 30% of our people were in absolute poverty. And you know what absolute poverty is? When one doesn't have a roof over the head, doesn't have food, feed the hunger, doesn't have access to medicine if he falls sick. We had over 30% of our people living in poverty, absolute poverty, till 2014-15. The world had started counting India as among the top fragile countries in the world. We were populous, but insignificant. We kept the model of our development, model of governance, not ours, which was not originated here, which did not resonate with the people. What we did, right from the very first decade, we started 5-year plan. So when we started 5-year plan of development, how did it work? It worked, okay. Government will provide welfare facilities like will provide public health, public education, the public transport they will build, they will start building powers, electricity and all. So they made it, we have this much resource, this many schools we will build, this many hospitals we will build, this many kilometers of roads we will build, this much power we will generate, incremental. Now, this incremental approach to development and growth, it did not solve our problem. Instead, our problem continued multiplying. We built roads, but a large part of our country remained inaccessible. We built hospitals, but yet a large part of our people were out of reach of this health services. A large number of people were homeless. There was no health cover to the poor, a large number of poor people. So this incremental approach that we will provide to so many, rest others wait. Imagine. In our constitution, those of you who have studied, and many of you, I am sure, at least preamble you must have read. It made a promise that Bharat will be a country where the people will be having justice. We see that they will have equality of opportunity. They will live in fraternity. But when you 75 years you have crossed, and you find that yet 30% of the people, 75 years is what? At least 3 generations. So what is the meaning of this independent Bharat? For those people, those who had no access to food, shelter, basic education, basic health care, what was the meaning for that? We had terribly lost the way. But in 2014, a course correction happened. For the first time, an independent Bharat, we got a government, we got a leader who fundamentally changed the course of this country. Today, on every parameter, when we say proudly, we are no longer, we don't feel hesitant when we go out that we are Indians. We know that from 11th, we have become the 4th largest economy. And everyone knows that, even the British Prime Minister who was another day, a few days, he was here, he says, India is going to be the 3rd largest soon. In every field, how this transformation happened. And if you look at closely how this happened, then you see integral humanism in action. Integral humanism in action. Now, what does integral humanism, which is essentially articulation of the core foundational values of our civilization, it says that we are all a kudumba, one family. If we are one family, suppose any of us, in our family, suppose if 2 or 3 persons fall sick, can we say that no, I will treat this guy, 2 of them will wait, I will not do that. You will not do that, sure you will not do that. If you have a food, can you say that, okay, limited food, can you say that no, there's so many people will eat and so many will not eat. It can't do it. You can't do it. The question is, do you treat, did the rulers of this country realize that this country is a family, or kutumba? Now what happened after 2014, after Prime Minister Modi came? If you look at, first ensure that every citizen of this country must have all the basic ingredients of a dignified living. And when we say basic ingredients of a dignified living, means a roof over the head, build the homes for the homeless. Now over 4 crores houses have been built, homes have been, I won't call it houses, homes have been built for the homeless. It is nearing saturation. It's not that at this plan we will build 2 lakhs houses and 3 lakhs houses. No, houses have to be built for every citizen who is homeless. Every citizen must have access to health care. No question of, I will give this much and that much next. No, every citizen must have. And within no time, within years, we got 40 crore Ayushman cards. Every poor person has now Ayushman card with a family insured for 5 lakhs rupees. You can go and she can go for treatment and the government pays it. And not only that, the healthcare, making it a holistic, is not only building more number of medical colleges, building more number of primary health centers, upgrading the primary health centers to health and wellness centers, but also our indigenous alternative medicine system, Ayurveda, Ayush, Siddha. People is the great wisdom. So parallelly, there is a boost to our indigenous medicine system. So much so that during COVID, the whole world realized India's indigenous medical system. And today, our Ayush products export has gone beyond $20 billion. This is it, and then making medicine cheaper. Medicines accessible to the poor man. Creating Jan Aushadhi Kendra. At the time, 2014, there were less than 400 Jan Aushadhi Kendra in the country. Today we have more than 17,000 Jan Aushadhi Kendra in the country. And you know, they know all these Jan Aushadhi Kendra, generic drugs. Generic drugs which are almost nearly 1/10 or 1/8 of the branded price. A branded medicine that you cost for 100 rupees, you get for 10 rupees. With the same effect. Expanding it. Look at the innovative measure. Look at integral humanism in action. Every man, every citizen of this country must have access to health care. It is not only that everyone has got Ayushman card with 5 lakh insurance. Make medicine cheaper. Ensure that preventive health care is taken care of. As a result, all our primary health centers upgraded to health and wellness center with a complete scanning of our citizens so that any lifestyle diseases, something going to happen, you know, you are alerted in advance and you attend to that. Fitness, emphasis on the sports, fitness, yoga. Now the whole world accepted yoga. Now, emphasis on fitness, emphasis on cleanliness. You know, in 2014, 60% of our country people used to go for open defecation. It's a public health issue. Of course, it is also an issue of security and dignity for our mothers and sisters. If you don't have a toilet in the house. Now today, every house of this country has got a toilet. Not today, 2019 itself. Within 5 years, it happened. Every house got a toilet. Every institution got a lady toilet. Every school got girls' toilet. We all talked about girls' education, girl empowerment. But why didn't it occur to us that we must make our schools, colleges and offices conducive for women to go and work there or study there? We didn't build toilets. How can they go? We didn't think of it. Because the rulers could not relate with them. For them, they were not their family members. We talked about Antim Jana. Mahatma Gandhi used to say, last man. Last man was all these years forgotten. Until now, that when this coverage, this happens, the Ayushman card and all these facilities, health coverage, education access, home to homeless, there is no exclusion. And finally, something which when the Prime Minister got to know, that among the tribals, there is a community, in the whole country their population is hardly about 70 lakhs. Imagine. In a country of 140-45 crore, 70 lakhs means nothing. In our Tamil Nadu, they are about 10 lakhs, not even just about a 1% of population. They do not count in our electoral calculation, electoral politics, so they remain. Even today, there are people, when I travel to tribal areas, I know that they have no identity, there's no document, nothing to prove that they are our brothers and sisters. They are homeless, many of them are homeless because there is no land patta with them. They don't have a small piece of land to build a small hut. We have this problem. And this happens more I have seen more among the tribals. So the Prime Minister launched a program for PVTs, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. We have 70 lakhs. Now these 70 lakhs people had been ignored for 75 years, they could have been ignored for more time and you could have been in power. But no, they are our brothers and sisters. Their pain is my pain. I must feel it. the sense of kutumbam, parivar. So schemes now within time frame involved, or it has to be, they have to be brought up at par with the rest. In every field of development and growth, it was made inclusive. Earlier in the socialistic pattern of development, when this state had the guardianship, they were the Mai-Bap, it was a client-patron relations. People had to beg to the British, people used to go and beg to this offices. No, it was not. It was compromising the dignity of the people. Imagine, for long, people with a ration card going to the ration shop and getting last minute turned away, no, we don't have it, go. I have seen, it's not far off, many of you also would have seen, those of you who are little elder. Comes a marriage in the house for a bag of rice, you have to go for office to office to office to office to get a permit. To get a bag of rice. You are paying for it, but no, you have to go. So getting a phone connection, you go and start MLA, MPs, ministers. Cooking gas connection, you go to MP, go to ministers. Now cooking gas in every house. Our mothers and sisters don't have to burn wood and cow dung, and that takes a heavy toll in their eyes. We must have it. Dignity. This is integral humanism in action. You take the whole as a family. Every field. Enterprise. Earlier, private enterprise was completely discouraged. Anyone who starts a business is a thief. You will start suspecting the person. Because socialistic mind. A state and an estate alone can provide. Because if the private people start providing, they will start making money and all this. But look at where we reached. System got completely corrupted. Delivery could not happen. We had a prime minister who on record in a public meeting, he said that when 1 rupee of benefit is given to a person, by the time it reaches beneficiary, it becomes 15 paise because 85 paise are eaten away by the people in between. It was all corruption, middlemen, bichali. What Prime Minister Modi did? He first ensured that we had a very robust digital public infrastructure. Every individual, every house must have a bank account, zero bank account. For long, having a bank account was a mark of prosperity. No, everyone must be included. All are members of my family, everybody must be. So through Jan Dhan Yojana, we got universal coverage of bank account. Aadhaar was made robust. And of course, digital mobile in every hand. This trinity, we created such a robust digital public infrastructure that when a benefit is to be transferred to a beneficiary, it doesn't have to pass through middlemen. It will go direct to the bank account. A farmer who gets Kisan Samman Nidhi periodically